Hey guys, welcome back, and we're gonna wrap up now our lectures on Philip II of Macedon. And really, after the Third Sacred War, Philip he turns his focus now to the Black Sea area. He began attacking cities in the Black Sea region, cities like Byzantium, the future site of Constantinople slash Istanbul. He began to attack and subjugate those cities, and by doing that, he led the Athenians to declare war on him. As I stated earlier in the lectures, Athens depended on the grain that was raised in this region to support their urban populations. Um, so now that Philip was directly attacking the cities that Athens had close and long-standing tie to, the Athenians felt that they had no other recourse than to openly go to war with Philip, and this is exactly what Philip wanted. Philip already had the best army, the most modern and professional army in the Greek world, and he also had access to the best cavalry in the Greek world, the Thessalian cavalry. So now the Athenians, seeing Philip for what he is, they begin to go out and court all of the Greek powers that aren't already allied to Philip. They go to Thebes, they sign an agreement with Thebes and a lot of lesser Greek states. They don't get the Spartans to come along because the Spartans they spent literally from the Battle of Leuctra down until the Romans destroyed the city. They spent the rest of that time simply nursing old grievances. When the Spartans are asked to join this alliance, they said, "Sure, we'll do it if we have overall command of everything. If you place a Spartan in overall command of this military force, and afterwards everybody agrees to acknowledge Sparta as the new hegemon of the Greek world." And the other Greek powers, they simply reject it. They don't go for it, and Sparta is left out of the equation. And now Philip, having heard of the Athenians and the Thebans' plan to oppose him, he quickly marches his army down. He gets all the way down to a place called Chaeronea, which is right outside of Thebes proper. And there, the two armies clash, and the Greeks are decisively defeated. It's um, it's the end of Greek independence. From this day forward, the Greeks would be ruled by a foreign power until early 19th century, when the Greeks rebelled and win their war of independence against the Ottoman Turks. And now Philip, for his part, he presents himself as a Greek to the Greeks that he conquered. He does not present himself as a Macedonian, as a foreigner. He's very generous in his peace terms. He does not demand that they pay him tribute. He does not demand that they abolish their civic orders or anything like that. He does not attempt to impose himself as their king, their overlord. Philip, because he had been raised basically had the Greek aristocrat, he had a very good working knowledge of the Greek polis and their institutions. So rather than attempt to outright force the Greeks into serving him, into obeying him, he simply enrolls all the Greek states, again, with the exception of Sparta. He enrolls all the rest of them into a new league, and he places himself as the head of this league. And then he signs an agreement between this new Greek league and the Kingdom of Macedon, uh, in which both parties agree to go on a joint military adventure to free the Greeks of Asia Minor from Persian domination. Philip never really gets a chance to go ahead and do all that. Um, After he announces that, he sends over bridgehead units into Western Asia Minor to sort of prepare for when he begins to land the heavy units of his army and of the Greek coalition forces. However, as I said earlier, Philip never really gets a chance to lead this new campaign. Before he leaves, he decides to celebrate a wedding, and it's the wedding of one of his daughters. And at this wedding ceremony, he's stabbed to death. He's stabbed by a man named Pausanias, and Pausanias was a courtier slash bodyguard of Philip. And sometime earlier, Pausanias had been assaulted by a group of Macedonian noblemen at a Macedonian symposium. And now a Macedonian symposium is not the same as a Greek symposium, in which the Greeks sort of mix their wine with water. They cut their wine and recite poetry and lyrics to each other. A Macedonian symposium is more like a frat party, in which the Macedonians simply drink as much as they can, have fast as they can, and then hook up, and then look to hook up with somebody. So Pausanias is attacked. He's taken advantage of. He's used by a group of Macedonian noblemen, and then he's turned out and given to the stable boys so that they can do the same thing to him. And he goes to Philip for redress, because one of the key functions of a Macedonian king was that you were easily approachable by your subjects. Pausanias goes to Philip and he asks Philip for redress, and Philip he doesn't deliver. He says that he can't really attack the noblemen, can't do anything to the noblemen because they aren't noblemen. He has close marital ties with one of the noblemen, and it really just hampers his ability to do anything. Pausanias is upset about this, and so the story goes, and he stabs Philip. And Philip, he actually dies in the arms of his son and eventual successor Alexander III, known as Alexander the Great. And Pausanias is immediately cut down by Alexander's friends, and that right there really ends one of the most remarkable careers of one of the greatest men of antiquity, Philip II. And he was still relatively young. He wasn't 50 yet when he was assassinated. He's assassinated fairly young. And Philip and Alexander, at the time of Philip's death, there was a lot of speculation on who exactly was behind it. It's Alexander's friends who cut down this man. Philip dies in Alexander's arms. The reason that Pausanias couldn't be avenged, that Philip couldn't do anything, is because Philip's new wife was related to Pausanias, and this new wife had a new son, and this son was, in the eyes of some people, was a threat to Alexander's eventual succession. No one really knows. It's a lot of speculation. It's a lot of interesting. It's really interesting for theories, but nothing really concrete. But as I said earlier, that really ends the lectures and the achievements of Philip. Alexander will go on to lead Philip's army and conquer the Persian Empire, earning the epithet the Great for his military achievements and the after effect of his military achievements, the spread of Greek culture, or at least the spread of Greek culture and the new idea of defining citizenship. Has citizenship had previously simply been something that you were born into. Your parents were a citizen of a certain city, so you are a citizen of a certain city. Citizenship really is undertaken. It really undertakes a transformation, and the biggest change is that the concept of citizenship changes from being something that you're born into something that you can adopt. If you're not a Greek, you can adopt Greek cultural traditions and ways and become a Greek. If you're not an Egyptian, you can simply adopt Egyptian cultural ways and become an Egyptian. All right, and I hope you guys enjoyed the lectures on Philip II, and tune in for more lectures.